Volcanoes are formations that are vents on the surface of the Earth where molten rock, debris, and gases from deep within the Earth's surface are emitted. They tend to exist along edges between tectonic plates that make up the Earth's surface. Under the Earth's surface there is magma, which is flowing molten rock. When this magma reaches the surface, it is called a volcano. An eruption consists of an explosive emission of ash or eruption of lava, which is what magma is named once it reaches the surface. Throughout history, there have been numerous volcanic eruptions. However, few have had the power to alter nations as a whole. The following 5 eruptions are easily the most devastating volcanic eruptions in history. Isarian Dynasty. The Byzantine Empire was ruled by the Isarian dynasty from 717 to 802. The Isarian dynasty is chiefly associated with Byzantine iconoclasm, which was a belief that icons, or physical representations of the divine, corrupted the Christian faith and focused on restoring divine favor by purifying the Christian faith by removing these icons. There were numerous devastating volcanic eruptions during this time that threw the empire into turmoil. There was widespread death from the volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, which exacerbated the hate towards icons and those who worshipped icons, as many felt as though they were being punished for the sin of worshipping them. These volcanic eruptions greatly weakened the empire and catalyzed the eventual downfall of the Great Byzantine Empire. The Lakey eruption was an eruption that spread over 8 months, consisting of lava flows and explosions that ejected an astounding 14.7 kilometer cubed of basaltic lava. The eruptions had a staggering effect on Iceland itself. Due to the volcanic gases such as sulfur dioxide and fluorine that were released in enormous amounts, acid rain strong enough to burn holes in leaves, kill trees and plant life, and irritate the skin was created. Furthermore, the excessive amounts of fluorine was absorbed by the grass, poisoning and killing over 60% of the grazing livestock. The eruptions resulted in what was called the Haze Famine and killed over 10,000 people, which was approximately 22% of the population due to famine and disease. It is important to remember that the effects of the Lakey eruptions were far more widespread than just the haze famine in Iceland. Due to the eruption, there was a change in the climate in Europe, which resulted in crop failures and thus widespread famine. This triggered one of the most famous insurrections of starving people in history, the French Revolution of 1789 to 1790. The eruption of 1972 was recorded as the deadliest volcanic eruption in Japanese history. The problem lay not only in the eruption itself, but rather the other natural disasters that it triggered. After an initial eruption, a large earthquake triggered a landslide from the Mayuyama Peak, which is a 4,000-year-old lava dome rising above the city of Shimabara. The massive landslide swept through the city and eventually reached the Ariake Sea, where it set off a tsunami. The resulting tsunami obliterated nearby areas, causing even more damage and death. Most of the estimated 15,000 deaths caused by the event were believed to have resulted from the landslide and the tsunami. On April the 10th, the first of a series of eruptions sent ash 20 miles into the atmosphere, covering the island with ash to a height of 1.5 meters. In fact, as a result of the eruption, so much rock and ash was expelled that the sun was not seen for several days, and it reduced the height of the volcano from 14,000 to 9,000 feet. The worst explosions were heard hundreds of miles away, and the disaster affected the climate worldwide. The explosions of gas and rock were strong enough to send sufficient amounts of ash into the atmosphere, reducing the global temperatures over the next year, while also causing spectacularly colored sunsets throughout the world. Although 10,000 people died as a direct result of the eruptions, the after-effects felt in the subsequent months claimed far more lives. More than 80,000 people died in the surrounding area from starvation due to the resulting crop failures and disease. Caught up in the midst of an important election, residents of Saint-Pierre failed to heed the mountain's warnings and evacuate. The nearby residents mistakenly believed that the only danger from the volcano was lava flow, and that if lava started to flow, they would have plenty of time to flee to safety. On May the 7th, activity on the volcano increased dramatically and the blast grew significantly stronger. Finally, a tremendous blast in the early morning hours sent an avalanche of boiling ash down the side of the mountain. The city of Saint-Pierre was buried within minutes and virtually everyone died instantly, with only 2 reported survivors. The consequence of this catastrophe was an alteration of how geologists viewed volcanic disasters. Geologists coined a term for the blast that destroyed the city, with Alfred Lacrier, a member of the French Geological Survey, dubbing the phenomenon a nuée ardente, meaning glowing or burning cloud. This mixture of hot gas and rock is now known as pyroclastic flow. It is agreed that unlike eruptions such as Mount Unzen or Mount Tambora, Pile's eruption killed more people directly, as the former two took many lives and created much more devastation due to the other phenomenons that occurred as a result of the volcanic eruptions, such as famine, starvation, disease, and tsunamis. As history has shown us, these natural disasters are ones we have no control over. They have the power to alter the course of history and make or unmake whole empires. Yet this is what makes them so formidable and awe-inspiring.